And now it is my honor to introduce President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Philip Steenkamp.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mason, and a huge good morning to all of you, and a huge big welcome to Royal Roads University on this gorgeous day. I'm so glad we can gather here where we live, work, and learn on the lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples known today as the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. Here is where the past stretches back over countless years and centuries, and here is where our shared future begins anew every single day. Mr. Chancellor, honored guests, faculty, staff, proud friends and family, graduates, I have a lot to congratulate you on today. Your ambition, your drive, your capacity for collaboration, absolutely critical in times like these, your imagination and creativity, and your commitment to change making. There's one more thing I'd like to specifically congratulate you on today, and that's your persistence. Royal Roads University programs can be very demanding. They demand sustained focus and effort over an extended period of time. And these days, that brand of sustained focus is in very short supply. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that today, because I'm coming to believe that sustained focus is what's going to save us if we don't end up letting short-form content crowd it out first. More and more, the media we consume online is chunked into shorter and shorter pieces. Think TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And you barely have time to get through a 30-second clip before you get another notification on your device, a text to look at, an app to update, something new and outrageous trending on social. So, quick reality check. This isn't a new concern. Neil Postman, writing about TV luring us away from print 40 years ago, is one example. He warned it would degrade our civil dialogue with his emphasis on high-octane, non-stop entertainment. Before that, there were moral panics over comic books and radio, and newspapers even in the 19th century. The printing press scared some people for similar reasons. If we believe Plato, Socrates wasn't wild about writing, saying it would damage people's memories through disuse. So yes, there's a long history of people fretting about what advances in media technology do to longer form communications. So I'm only the latest in a long line of old men yelling at clouds. But here's what separates us from Socrates, apart from 2,400 years of history and 1 cup of hemlock. Socrates didn't have a massive industry of app designers and marketeers using the latest in neurology to keep us doom scrolling and getting real-time feedback from millions of users about which bright, shiny object is going to do the best job of stealing our attention. You are supposed to be consuming short-form content on social platforms. We are pushed to hit the dopamine pipe that is Reels, Stories, and TikToks. Now, it can be entertaining and might provide a nugget of truth, but there's no depth. It provides the same nutrition for your mind as a candy bar does for your body. It's all designed to make us consume media in little monetizable, bite-sized chunks. And that leaves less and less room for long-form media, less time for books, less time for plays, for concerts, for long conversations, less time for thinking. There's less appetite and maybe less capacity for the deep dives, the complex stories, the multi-layered reflections. Long-form is becoming a pretty tough sell, especially if it isn't high on sensation. And hey, I'm not claiming any moral ground here. If I'm at the Cineplex and I have a choice between 2 hours, 49 minutes of Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt bouncing across an IMAX screen and a 2-hour, 49-minute slow burn on grief and mortality, I know which mission I'm choosing to accept. But I also know we're at risk of losing something in the process. For the sake of constant entertainment, we are at the risk of losing wisdom. We are also at the risk of losing our patience. And patience is a muscle. It needs to be exercised. We need to constantly learn and relearn that there are rewards for it. There's joy and resilience to be found in quiet contemplation, in meditation. There's satisfaction to be derived from focused exploration of deep, arcane ideas. Look, long-form is work, and the really good stuff is often uncomfortable work. It challenges us, asks us to acknowledge the places where our view of things is just a little too smooth, a little too polished. If short form excels at reaffirming what we want to be true, long form can make us confront the things we've been glossing over. Long form reveals that the world can't be reduced to simple answers. There are contradictions and paradoxes. It's messy. And that can be disconcerting, because if the stories we're watching or hearing or reading aren't perfect, how can our own stories ever hope to be so? But that's exactly the point and part of the beauty of long form. Graduates, your stories are never going to be perfect. Your lives will hardly ever be without challenge, and nor should they. We are human beings. We live in a complex world, and you in particular have taken on the job of effecting change in the face of big, complicated, thorny challenges. So I hope then that your time here has helped you find the right balance between short and long form. Royal Roads is in many ways a gymnasium for those patient muscles. The intensity of our programs pays off with the level of knowledge and achievement you get from them. The beauty of this incredible setting rewards contemplation and reflection. The indigenous history of this land, surely the longest of long-form stories, reminds us of what can endure over centuries and millennia. And the work you have ahead of you when you leave today, that too stretches out over years. Your careers of change-making are going to be complex narrative arcs that span decades. And everything I've seen from you tells me that your stories will be as rewarding as any out there. So, may you all have the chance to trend at least once on TikTok, but may you also have the joy and satisfaction of long, deep engagements and making lasting, positive change. So my congratulations to you all and my best wishes. Thank you. So it is now my pleasure to welcome Chancellor Nelson Chan to the podium to offer a few words of congratulations. Nelson.
Hi, class of 2025. I'm usually a man of few words, so I'll just leave you with this. The bad news is you're on your own now. But the good news is you're on your own now.
Taylor Swift already said that.
Did she say that? Did she also say, please don't interrupt the Chancellor during his speech? Let me try that again. How about this? Get out there, be kind, make a difference. And maybe don't quote someone who just wrapped up a world tour. Is that enough? That's enough, right?
Chancellor, I don't think that's enough. That's not nearly enough. You can't deliver your convocation address via TikTok. Please come up here. Welcome your Chancellor to the podium. Thank you.
That'll be for my next reel. Maybe a little bit more traditional then. It's my absolute pleasure to join in welcoming you to the land of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. Somewhere, my kids are absolutely embarrassed right now. But here's one more for them. I know they're watching on the live stream, so. Reflecting on the history and the land and President Steenkamp's remarks, it reminds us of what endures. Graduates, honored guests, our presence here is temporary. As graduates, you're moving on. As Chancellor, my term is ending. But the legacy of this land and the peoples who've called it home, that will continue. And so too, I hope, does your connection to this place, what you've learned here and the people you've bonded with. Now that might seem like an odd segue into a defense of short-form content, especially given our recent attacks. But yes, long-form content has its place, and it is under siege. But let's be honest, a lot of it should have been short-form. That meeting that should have been an email, that book that should have been a blog post, or this speech. So why do we overinflate content? Sometimes it's puffery, jargon, buzzwords, or bureaucratic language. But sometimes it's fear, people hedging their bets on conditions and caveats. And other times, it's just a lack of effort. Because it takes time to edit, it takes time to think, it takes time to pare down what you really want to say. But short-form content done well is memorable. Neil Armstrong's "That's one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind" is a sentence for the ages. Lines like that endure with us. They resonate because they are distilled to the essence of long-form content. Their lived experience compressed into moments. And in that way, short form and long form are best when they coexist, like a chancellor and a president. Both matter because time matters. It's our one truly finite resource. We can't make more of it, but we can use it better. That means asking others for their time thoughtfully and spending our time with care. It also means making space for stillness, for reflection. Those moments help bring clarity and meaning to everything. I won't live up to Neil Armstrong, but I will try to leave you with a short thought that has guided me and provided clarity in my own journey. You make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. I've been so fortunate to be board chair and chancellor of Royal Roads University and to be a small part of your special day in your lifelong journey. I wish you all the best and hope you find the same joy and fulfillment as I have through this place. Thank you, congratulations, and
It's pretty hard to follow that, isn't it? What a nice combination of the short form and the longish form, and a great reminder of time and how we spend it, both as you enjoy today and as you go off into your great ventures beyond.